Okay, let's go. It's that time of year again, Advent of Code 2023. It's been nearly a year since I last streamed. So yeah, welcome back everybody. I'm always looking forward to this. For those who don't know, Advent of Code, I'll drop a link in the chat. Advent of Code is a yearly programming competition that starts December 1st and runs to December 25th. There's a new challenge each day. It comes in two parts, where the second one is usually a twist on the first, where your coding skills are put to more of a test. And it's a lot of fun if you like programming, or even if you want to learn programming or learn a new language. The first few days are very doable for most people, but it tends to get hard fairly quickly. Last year, I had to stop halfway through, I think, due to all sorts of reasons. I've been doing some more. Hey, good morning, Sunco Software. Nice to see you again. It's been a long time. So yeah, it's really nice, and I'm really looking forward to do this year's challenges. How is the audio, by the way? Because as I said, it's been nearly a year since I streamed. And yeah, so I just put on a bit of background music, the old Harris Heller Renegade track that I really like, which is great for streaming. So is the audio balance correct? This is my favorite time of the year. For me too, man, for me too. Yes. Okay, I think we'll just, audio is perfect. Great, thanks for the feedback. I guess we'll just start reading the problem. Also, I've got this nice little mug here that Luc gifted me last year. So yeah, thank you, Luc. It's really nice to have an Advent of Code mug. And I've also got a cappuccino as always, so I'll be hydrated perfectly. So let's see. Day 1. Trebuchet. Something is wrong with global snow production and you've been selected to take a look. The elves have even given you a map. On it, they've used stars to mark the top 50 locations that are likely to be having problems. You've been doing this long enough to know that to restore snow operations, you need to check all 50 stars by December 25th. Collect stars by solving puzzles. 2 puzzles will be made available on each day in the Advent calendar. The second puzzle is unlocked when you complete the first. Each puzzle grants 1 star. Good luck! You try to ask why they can't just use a weather machine. Not powerful enough. And where they're even sending you. The sky. And why your map looks mostly blank. You sure ask a lot of questions, they say. And hang on, didn't you just say the sky? Of course, where do you think snow comes from? When you realize that the elves are already loading you into a trebuchet, please hold still, we need to strap you in. As they make the final adjustments, they discover that their calibration document, your puzzle input, has been amended by a very young elf who was apparently just excited to show off her art skills. Consequently, the elves are having trouble reading the values. Consequently, the elves are having trouble reading the values on the document. The newly improved calibration document consists of lines of text. Each line originally contained a specific calibration value that the elves now need to recover. On each line, the calibration value can be found by combining the first digit and the last digit in that order to form a single 2-digit number. For example, 1 ABC2 would be 12, PQR3 etc. would be 38, then we have 1 and 5, and then the last one is invalid because there's only 1 digit. The first and the last, okay. So yeah, the last occurrence is of course the same as the first occurrence. It's good that they have, it always has like tricky stuff like that, where you don't consider, so you just look from the front till you find the first number and look from the back till you find the first number, and that's it. And if that's the same number, it doesn't matter, you use it twice. Okay. So that's always nice to have those examples. In this example, the calibration values for these 4 lines are 12, 38, 15 and 77. Adding these together produces 142. Consider your entire calibration document. What is the sum of all the calibration values? Okay, so let's give that a look, shall we? As always, I have some helper tools, and I might publish those in GitHub just to make it easier for the future. I actually did something, at least I think, that is really cool. So to get the input, and maybe I need to explain this a bit before I start rambling. Here you can see the puzzle input. It's always in this fixed format, like year, day number / input. And not everybody gets the same input. So this one is tied to your login. How do you do that is you sign into the website. You can see my name up here. And there are like a few problem sets, and at random people are given a problem set. So if you want to download your input, you need to be logged into the site. Now, they use something called an authentication cookie, which is basically a long random string that uniquely identifies your session. So they can tie that to your user account. So when you add that as a header, when you do a request, they know, hey, this is Nick, and they personalize the site to show them your stuff. Like I said, that is a secure cookie. So what I did is I wrote some software to extract code from the secure cookie from Chrome, because it's protected, because it's like a secret. So you normally can't really get that data. So what I did was, and there's some extra magic here, because when Chrome is running, you cannot access that file. So basically the file is located in your user profile, and then this folder, this changed from previous versions. So if you have an older version, the network part isn't there. So if you want to copy that file or read that file that has the secure data, you need to first close all windows. Because I don't like that, I always have a lot of Chrome windows open. I did something cool and utilize NTFS, which is the Windows file system, of shadow volume snapshotting. So there is a project called, let me see, Alpha FS and Alpha VSS, and they made that part really easy. So they let you create a shadow volume copy of that file, which usually isn't possible when a file is in use. So this lets me copy that file while it is in use into a second part, and then I use this code to decrypt that file, because it's a bit complicated, but they encrypt all the data because it should be a secure cookie. So I wrote tools, just 2 command line tools, to first copy the Chrome cookie file that has all your cookie data, and then extract the secure cookie, and that creates a text file with the session in it. So here I have a solution base class that has the base URL. It reads that session file from disk, and that basically helps you pull in the solution. It also has caching, so if the input file already exists, it won't download it again. And they actually ask you to identify yourself when you do this. So if you automate getting inputs, you need to identify the application that's doing it to make sure that you're not causing any problems, and don't spam or have like an incorrect implementation. So yeah, if you're interested, I can put all this on GitHub if you want. As always, I also have a bunch of extensions that I use every year, and this list just keeps growing. This is basically just like helpers for get permutations and greatest common factor, and usually these are all just for text extraction of the input file. The program will basically just do, I think, day 0. Let me see, because as I said, it's been a while. It's just a new class, and then you create it. So let me create day 1. And day 1 inherits from base with the parameter 1, so that it knows that it has to pull in day 1, the inputs. So I can here do var x is new day 1, console.writeLine x.part. It auto executes those. Never mind. I should probably change that to make it static, because yeah. So in here you have input, which is a variable that will hold the input string. So this will hold all these lines. So basically what we need to do is to read all of the lines and then parse from back to front and front to back. So let's do that. So we do 2 lines. And basically int values is boom. So we will keep a track of all those values, and basically what we now need to do is line for each string line in lines. And I think the easiest way to do this is to walk from front till we find one and one till from back. So we do here we can do 2 variables, char front back, and then we do for int I is 0, comma I smaller than line. Then we do len is line.length. I smaller than len, and then we increment. And I like to do the increment in advance, just because it's more efficient. It doesn't really matter in the end, but it's just a stylistic thing. Also, you might notice that I've added a second part to the first thing, because like a for each loop of a for loop is usually 3 parts. You have your initializing, then you have your loop condition, and then you have the incrementer that fires each loop when this one is true. Line.length is a property that calculates a length. So especially for like lists, etc., it's better to just define it once and then check against a static value. And that's just something that I've started to do just to make sure that's also optimized. So now we should get the first number start from front, second number start from back. Actually, like this. And I wonder if we should add some sanity checks here as well. I'm messing up the code here. Because it's possible that it's not valid, but usually it doesn't really matter. Bing chilling. Yo, hey Nick. Yes, hi, welcome. Thank you for keeping me company this morning. So yeah, we do line if line I larger or equal to 0, 9, break, because we found it, and we do first is actually we can do first is front front is line I, and then we can compare against that, and we stop processing if we hit our desired value. And then we do the same but in reverse. So we start at line.length -1. We don't need the second one, and we do this while this is larger or equal to 0. Dun, dun, dun. So this one will walk to the back, and then we do back is this. Okay, so now we can do a debug thing. We do console.writeLine just to show that we are correct, and I will put, can you make the font bigger? I'm a mobile. Oh sure, sorry. It's been a year since I streamed, so let's make it bigger. Is this better? Let's see. So we can do a string format here, and we say this input means plus this is like this. So we do line, and we do front plus back is an val. We do val is int.parse, and we do a format string here of both front and back. Better. Okay, great. Thanks for letting me know. If there's anything, just let me know. Yeah, that's fine. And we do here int val, just to reserve a value. Let's see, use of unassigned value, yeah, okay. Actually, we can do null like this. So that initialized, and we can do values of add val. Man, this autocomplete is useful. Okay, so now just to make sure, we do input is, and we use the test input. Okay, let me public string, and I'll remove the private set for this case. Just I might make like a structure where you can better do this, like override the input with a test value. But for now, I'll just do it like this. I'll work on that off screen. So just like this, we do day 1, and I do here input is of this, and then we do part 1. So I can run this now if I do set this as startup project. So what I did was take the test input to see if we can run this and come up with the right values. Okay, index was outside of bounds. That's what you get for copy pasting. This is also like something that happens a lot. I was lazy in this case and copy pasted this part, so I didn't write the last part myself, and I didn't notice that it was actually incrementing. So let's run that again. Boom, and here we have our values. We should also write out the sum, so console.writeLine values.sum. Link is really useful for this, so we can do a nice string format here and say part 1 this. So let's run it again. I think it was 142, so that is correct. So now we can bypass the test input and run the real input. Boom. Let's see. That should give us our first star. Woohoo! First star in the bag. Time for a sip of coffee. And a sip of water, just because it's the Advent of Code mark. Okay, let's see what twist part 2 holds in store for us. Your calculation isn't quite right. It looks like some of the digits are actually spelled out with letters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 also count as valid digits. Okay. Small note here, I allowed 0 in my code, so that would be a bug. Did they say that it's 1 through 9? No. It said digits, so they didn't say not to include 0. Okay. Your calculation isn't quite right. It looks like some of the digits are actually spelled out with letters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, equipped with this new information, you now need to find the real first and last digit of each line. For example, in this example, the calibration values are this. Okay, so we have a new example, and especially for day 2, it's always good to first test the examples, the samples. So there are actually a few ways that you can go about this. So what you could do is either map out these values in a map, and then still check character by character to see if it's a digit, a literal digit, no. Else, is it the start of one of these? And then try to read ahead to see if it matches to one of these words. That would be probably the most efficient, but since the sample size is really small, it doesn't really matter to go that fancy. So what I'm saying is, like, I can do a quick example. So you have like so you would have like a dictionary char, comma, and then this would actually nest. So would it matter? Yeah, I think you can do the leading char and then string dictionary, string, comma, int. So this will be your mapping, literal mapping, this. So then you have like, okay, we have the O for one, and then you have new blah, and this one would be, it would have a new set of literal values here. So this one would be 1, 1, like this. Oh, that's cool. It's not what I wanted, but it's fun. The fact that it can do that is pretty cool. So yeah, what you would do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so this is the only one with the O, and you would do this for everyone, and then for each character you would check here. Okay, this is the literal. The else if mapping literal mapping dot try get value front out var vals, and then you would try to map in front. So you would go for each of those characters, keep looking ahead in the string to see if you could map out the full literal, right? So that would be a fancy way if you had to process really big amounts of data. It's a bit of a pain to set up. So what I'm going to do instead is do dictionary string, comma, I can do string, because what I will do is now just transform the input string to make sure that everything is parsed. So every literal is converted into a digit first in this string. So that's like the easy way to do it. So you have literal mapping is blah. So now you would do 1. I'll just do int actually. I know it will be turned back into a string, but this just looks better in my opinion. So we go yes. And this is the problem with like AI. It will be confidently wrong. Do you see what's happening here? So yeah, it gets very confused. At least the digits are correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'll just do this anyway, because I think it might work. Yeah, AI, it's really cool and it can be really helpful, but as you see, it will be confidently wrong, so always double check and triple check. 4 is now 3, yes. So what we'll do here is actually do this on the input mapping. So we'll do that here. And we do input, actually, no, we do for each var mapping in literal mapping. And we'll do here input is input dot replace mapping dot key mapping dot value to string, like this. And now our entire code will be processed. And actually we will do this after part 1, so that both parts will still work. So we'll do that here. So we'll have our input, part 1, and then we'll do the replacement and then part 2. Boom, the input string EE was not in the correct format. That is interesting. What happened there? Ah, because this is now part 1 isn't valid. And okay, so they changed. Yes, I need to do this actually here. Let me just stop this. If I want to do it like this, I need to do it this way, so that both part 1 and part 2 work. So part 1 Didn't I do part 2? For part 2 I can just actually do part 1 again because the implementation is the same. So 211, is that correct? 281. Ah, we have a bug. Let's see. So let's see. 29. Okay, that comes with 83. Oh, there is a bug in the input. Can you see that? Oh, no, 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 no. Ha ha ha. 8. I see the problem. You have to go from left to right. So now you can see that my replacement logic actually won't work and you'll have to do... Nice. This is pretty cool. There is still a way to do the replacement, but it's not that great. So what you would do if you want to do the replacement is actually to do, for each literal replacement, do a find on the same string and check which one hits the lowest index and then do the replace that way. But when you're at that point, you might as well just do it the super optimal way. So what I'm saying is, if you take this string, you can see here 8 and then WO, which isn't a number, and then 3. So if you take this string and you find 2, the index starts here, right? Starting from the start, the index for 2 starts here. The index for 3 starts here. The index for 8 starts at 0. So if you do a search for every mapping, you have to process the one with the lowest index first, and then you start after you replace that. So it's pretty complicated to do that. So it might just be easier to just do the mapping, right? So yeah, let's write the mapping one. This is fairly complicated for a day 1 part 2 actually. I think this is one of the hardest part 2s they've did for a day 1 challenge yet. So, but this is also why it's important to test the input and to have some debug output, right? If I saw this, I was like, there is a problem in my problem set. How is that possible? But because the replacements are done in order for me, it actually takes away the T from 8. So that's really cool. I like this. Okay. So we need to do a lot more work. So this literally needs to become the mapping that I did before. Yeah, that's pretty complicated for a day 1 challenge. Yeah. Well, they also always try to make it so that you can do part 1. But I think maybe they got some feedback that for the more experienced programmers, part 2 isn't a challenge for like the first week or the first 2 weeks. So I think they just added a little bit of spice to make sure that it actually is a bit more challenging. So yeah, I was not expecting to stream for longer than 10 minutes this morning actually. So yeah, let's see. Okay, so I'll just, because I like to preserve this and maybe do something with it later, I'll just rewrite this a bit. Okay, so this one will become char, actually a dictionary of char, and then this, so dictionary char this. I usually can make it to at least day 10, but after that it gets too complicated. Yeah, it gets really hard for me as well. There are not many years that I was able to complete just right away. So, so yeah, here we add O, and then new. Parsing of the input is the place I struggle the most. Okay, well, for parsing input, there are really, depending on your language, if you use C#, there is really so much powerful stuff that you can do. Big Chunk says, I really thought I was gonna miss the stream because of how easy day one is. Yep, not gonna happen. New. Okay, let me just boom, 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 boom. New dictionary. This will be a pain to transform because this will now also be like this, right? Okay. So this will be 2. Do I need an additional one here? Yes, I need an additional one there. So many accolades. Yes, C#. Okay, maybe I'll take some time. It's really busy, so I don't know when I'll get around to it, but I'll try to take some time and actually post some of the helpers that I made, because that just, it will make life a lot easier. Then there's one for F. Oh, I'll add the data in a bit. Why is it complaining here? Okay, I'll solve it in a bit. New int, it has literal combinations there. Yeah, okay, it will be fine. F, we have 4, 5, then we have one for S. S, 6, 7, one for E. One for 9. 0, okay. So O is only 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, no, 6, and 7 actually. 7. Then we have 8. 9. And 0. Now I wonder which of these accolades were wrong. I need to add more here. Right. Does it align now? The accolade nightmare. Okay, so I think I have a small map now. This isn't the correct way to do it. I need to put this more globally because I need to reach it inside of the function. And I can actually do this in part 2. So let's do that. So now we need to, if it's a literal, it's fine. We need to do else if literal mapping try get value front out var options. I can't write. Okay, so now we need to look ahead to see if it's a match, and otherwise skip it. So now we do for int sub is I. Yes, needs to be I still. +1 actually. And is I plus. Now we need to do this for each actually. For each var option in options, because they can have more than the same. Let's see, like this. And this I plus option key.length. sub smaller than line dot len and sub smaller than end, right? Yes, yes, and then we increment sub. So this is the look ahead. So we need to check. Okay, no, this is wrong because we need to know the actual index of the mapping here. So we do sub is 1, and is option.key.length, and we do like this, sub smaller than end. Yes. Now we need to make a check here if I plus sub larger or equal than len. Break. It's wrong. Continue actually. No, we need to break out of this one. So first we need to make sure that. Let me check. First time seeing that kind of for loop. Okay. If you have any questions about something that I do, always feel free to ask. Two variables. Yes. There are lots of things where calling length will actually execute code, and if the length of something never changes, it's good to just put it in a variable here so that this check becomes more efficient. So like if you enumerate a collection, like an array or a list or a dictionary or whatever, if you can know for sure that the length doesn't change, it's best to just put it there. Let's see. So now we need to make sure that looking ahead, we don't go out of bounds. Make sure we don't go past the end of the line. So we do here bool match is false. I like to declare this outside. So we put it here. Working variable. So we do match is false, and here we do if match break. Font is option.value to string. Wow, that's ugly. Okay, so if it's, we do break. So we're out of bounds here. Else if line, and we go I'll just do another variable here. Sub index. So we do sub index is I plus sub. So if sub index larger or equal to the length of the, then we're out of bounds. Else we check if this equals to option.key I. Good. And we need to make sure like this, then we break. And here we do else if sub is end -1. We do match is true. I think this would be the logic. That will be for front, and now we need to do the same for the back part. And that is basically this, but in reverse. So we can put it here. Like this. Yeah, this is cool because this will need to go in reverse. So we'll let me see. Haha, this is interesting because my my lookup isn't correct here. So like if you're going from the back, you need to start at the last character to know if that's a key. So yeah, that's annoying. So we have a literal mapping, reverse, and I should probably have defined this differently, but it's okay. So we have E for 1, O for 2. Now 3 goes to the E part because we have to look at the last letter, and I should probably actually just have defined these 10 values and then built this dynamically. So let's just do that here. Because I want to do this right and give a proper example. So we do list string like this, string literal, and then we do int value. It could actually be a byte, a value. Literals is new blah, and then here we do. Can I still copy that? Probably not. So here you do blah, comma 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. And this is also like, this is common refactoring. When you notice that you're doing something that's not useful or nice, or you're starting to repeat yourself, just make it better, right? 1, 2. I have to admit that I really like this challenge because it's making me question my own things and come up with better solutions. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, oh, 9, 0. Okay. So now we do this. For our literal mapping is literals to dictionary x dot literal 0, and then we do like this, and we do the same for reversed literal mapping reversed, and here we do actually length -1, and we actually need to group by this, so this is a bit premature, so we do group by this, and then we do to dictionary except key, which is the character, to list. Okay, so now you can see the literal is a mapping of char with a list of pairs. So this is the syntax that we needed to do. To group by, then the same to dictionary here because that doesn't change. Cool. So now we have our mapping back in front, that what I did here by hand. But you also notice if I undo this, you see that I'm defining the same data more than once, and that's usually a good indicator that you're not doing it correctly. So yeah, for the second part, okay, what is option here? This becomes literal. This becomes the value. Okay, so let's copy this. And make sure that we update all the relevant parts. So for here, we go to back and not front. Let me see. Now we need to do the same for the. Actually, we can do the same in reverse, because we know that we already matched it. Only here we do I minus sub, not plus sub. Let me think. Because we need to have index length minus that. Yes, I think this is correct. This will be while if smaller than 0. Then we out of bounds. Start of the line. And this one needs to map in reverse. So we're looking back to front. So this one becomes length minus I plus 1, I think, actually. Yes. Yes, that should be it. Because if this is 0, we want length minus 1 for the last one, so that is good. Else if sub reaches, I need to calculate the, let me see. Yeah, this is still the same, I think. I will have to step through this just to make sure. And here we go back, this option is that. So let me see if this runs on the test input. And actually now we do need to run part 2. And let's see if we have any bugs. Index out of range exception, okay. So 5 minus I is 7, okay. Let me see, the literal is 5, let me see. Oh yeah, because we include, I'm an idiot. This needs to be if it's larger or equal to end. I think that's still the same logic, right? Yes. Because in the we count forwards, but we do the backward stuff at a later point. Okay, and here I probably need to do the same check here, because sub I no, I need to make sure that I is smaller than end. Okay, I need to make sure that if I is smaller and or sub ix smaller than 0. Okay. We need to make sure that we don't go past the literal. Okay, what happens here? 5, option literal 4. I need to have the same in the front part. I need to have the same check here. Okay, which part is this? Did I do the replacement? EE. Okay, let's just step through it here, just to make sure that I'm doing things correctly. Because let me check the example. 219, right? Let's just put it a bit to the side here. So the first line is 29. So here's a literal mapping. So it will have the option 2, and then it will try to find. Let's see. This is interesting. Subappendix is 1. So add watch. Add watch. Wait, what? Okay, I'm off by 1 here. Let me see. I need to, this needs to be sub. No, sub. The line sub ex. Yes, sub, not I. Okay. So that's a bug there. And this needs to be sub +1. Okay, let's run this again. I still get the same error. Let's see what it spits out first before I do that. 2.9. So, okay, so it didn't work. So let me just debug it here. Okay. So the first one should match the literal. We do that. That is good. We know that the first one matched, so we skip the first match. So we check index 1. So sub ix and sub should be the same now. So that is good. And sub, yeah, if it reaches here, match should be through. So that is good. So now sub is 2, match is true. Ah, I should break. Oops. That's my problem. If I get the, I need to break out of the loop if there's a match. Actually, it should, wait, before I do this. Let me see. Because it should already be the end, so it would also just stop looping there. So it would be a natural exit. So before I do this, match is true. This is fine. If match, front is this. Front is 2. Okay. So that is good. Ah, I need to stop. I need to also break out of that loop. Because this is that loop, I need to say, in here, I need to say if match, break, right? I'm making the code a bit smaller now, and I'll explain. What break does is it breaks it, and the highlighting you can see here, it breaks out of this loop. So if this match is complete, it's here. But we still need to break out of this options loop. Otherwise, we will continue. What does it complain about here? That it might be unset. We do is false. Okay. Because we want to stop breaking, looping there. And then we still have another one. Yes, okay. I think this one is correct. And I need to make sure that I do the same here. Because this one will break there. Let's see, this one will break out of there. And then we still need to break here to make sure that we don't keep looping there. Okay, stop. Let's run it again. 8e is not in the correct form. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we have 2, but the 9 didn't work, so the back part didn't work. So let's debug that one as well to see if we have a bug there as well. Second one, okay, from the back. Yes, so E. So this one gives us 9. Okay, there should be more than one. Let's see. Ah, look, I did the wrong mapping. Mapping reverse is what we needed here. So let's do that and run it again. And now it works, 287. Okay. So we got a little bit of debugging going on. And, oh, it's actually wrong. So let's see where it goes wrong. 2, 9. Oh, the 9 one didn't work. Actually, there's more that doesn't work. It looks like I assign the front instead of the back. Is that what I do? Back is that? No, it doesn't. Interesting. Let's see if this one ever matches. Okay, which option matches? That's 8. That is fine. Ah, I forgot the break. No, actually it doesn't, because it should exit here if match back is 8. Okay. Okay. Actually, was that the correct one? Let me see. It should do 2, 9. Wait, this isn't the first one. Let's debug the first one. Let's go here. So the line is 9. So this will be the E from E. Okay. 1, sure. Let's see if we just go here. So the 1 didn't match, 3 didn't match, 5 didn't match, 9. This one should match. Okay, let's see. I is larger than. This needs to be sub. Yes. Did I do that wrong here as well? This is bad. Okay. These are all bugs. Let's see what comes out if I run it now. .281, it's still wrong, but because it needs to be 287, I think. Oh no, 281. Okay, so now it's correct. Okay, getting there. And you see, bugs are really easy to make, but so I think 29, A3, ABC1, 3, 2, 4, 4, 2, 1, 4, 7, 6. Okay. It's funny that it has 16 because that's not a number. Why not use regex? Yeah, you could do that because that will start from the front, right? Yeah, you could recursively call a regex replace. I just wonder, yeah, that would work. But I must say that I like this. This will outperform a regex, by the way, on big problem sets. But valid solution. Let's see if we remove the test input and run the real code now. Wait, what? Ah, I need to also remove this test input, of course. I was like, what? Boom. Is that the same as we had the first time? Woohoo! Part 2 done. Okay. So yeah, that was part 1. I was surprised that it was already this hard because there's quite a lot of tricky stuff here. But yeah, as mentioned, you could use a regex, and let's actually try that. No, actually you wouldn't. Yeah, you could, but that would still be a pain because you would have to regex max and you would have to recursively call a new regex match for like a single instance, replace, and then try it again. Yeah, I think we could do that. So that would look something like this, right? And I'll just do the test input here. Let's do that here. Void part2 regex. And we do const string pattern is right, and this one would be digit literal. And you actually get like 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Then we'd still need to have the mapping that I had before. I think I still saved that here, right? Yes. Look, and now the dictionary mapping comes in handy. Okay. So now we do regex. R is new regex. And we do regex up to compiled. Like that. And we do for each. Okay. For lines is input to lines for each comma each for line and lines, and then we do while r dot match. No, we do here match m. M is r dot match line, yes, and we do while m dot success. And now normally you would do inside this loop, you do m dot next match, but you don't want that. You just want to start from the front and then replace and then iterate again. Actually, you could do m dot next match, but I'll just do it this way. So now we do line is line dot replace. Actually, you could regex replace r dot replace line. No, you can't, because you need to know which match it is. So you need to do part replacement is literal mapping, and then you do m dot groups this dot value. Come on. Like this, and this is the name of the key. So actually we should do like const string it's okay. I'll repeat it for once. So this will get us the replacement value out of the mapping, and then we should do m dot. Does it have the index? Let's do this var capture this. This, and then we do capture the value, and I think capture the. Does it have the index? Yes. So now you do line is line substring. If capture the index larger than 0, line 0, comma capture the index like this, and I can probably not edit it here. Okay. So I need to have a working variable for that. So we do this, and then line L plus equals replacement dot toString, and then L plus equals line dot substring capture dot index plus capture dot length. I think it would be something like this, and then console dot write line plum. So you do this, and then you get like line and then you do capture.value becomes a replacement. So if I run it like this, and I'll not run part 1 now, and I'll not run part 2. Let me just do this here. And I also need to do actually this now. So now this should spit out the first one. So you get here 2.9. Haha. Let me see what I did wrong here. Capture.length index is 0. Yes, I need to start after that. This is weird. Let me check. Quick watch. This should be 1.9. So this is correct. This is the replacement. Let me see. Okay, is string.empty. My bad. Empty. So this is actually what it should do. Okay. And I need to break because I probably have a bug somewhere. Let me see. So this one becomes 2.9. Yeah, okay, I need to do it differently. String L, let me see. L is line. I need to keep working on the same variable here. That's a bit of the issue actually. And this one needs to be a working variable here. Let me see. String.empty, so I need a second one. So now I need to do L new is for L.substring. This all needs to work on L, and then we do L is L new, and then we do L is L new, and then we go on. Okay. I think this should be it. See if we get another infinite loop. Okay, here we go. So 2.9, let me make this bigger. 2.9, it takes a 2, it replaces it with a 2, and it becomes this. And then we have 2.19, it takes this, and then it goes like this. So yeah, with the regex, it also works. It might be cleaner even, but I kind of like my solution. I should actually benchmark it. I don't think I have benchmark.net running. Yeah, let's see if that helps. Let's not do the test input and actually see, and I won't do the, actually I can't because I would have to put in all of this here. Oh yeah, I could do that actually. So I could do list string new lines is new blah, and then I can do new lines add L. I was gonna ask for a benchmark, yeah. New lines at add L, and then do input is new lines to string.join environment.newline new lines. like this, and then I can do part 2, no, part 1 actually. Right, so I can call this one, and it will first replace it and then use the part 1 logic to do the actual thing. So yeah, we do system stopwatch as well as new blah, like that. Oh yeah, I could actually do, yeah. I forgot that I'm using the new .NET, so I can just do new. So then I don't repeat the variables. And we do this for int I is 0, I smaller than 9. There is a thing called benchmark.net, but I'm not going to install that now. I might do that for the future because it's useful to actually test. I also string input saved is input to string. It might be a bit unfair to the C#, the regex version. I might have to do it cleaner. So I might just do that. Let me see if I even have the NuGet package. No, I don't have it. I thought I had like set that up for some of the days, like to benchmark it, but I'll look into that later. For now, I'll just do sv.reset start stop. Do the same here. Pause block equals 1. Actually, I could. It's a time span, right? I think time span p b. So I can do a is sv.elapsed, and then I do b is sv.elapsed. So yeah, let's see if we do this. I need to probably kick out all the print lines because that will have more impact. It's very fast either way, but I think the non-regex version is a tiny fraction faster, but let me just remove the console write lines here. I should probably do like I need to remove this one as well. And I probably need to do like 10k iterations or something. But if I do that, it won't. I need to remove the output just for benchmarking. Like that. And I should probably do like 10k iterations for each. So for int x is 0, x smaller than 10,000. Something like this, right? And then you get a bit of an idea. Yep, making the computer sweat. I didn't think it would last this long. Did I mess up somewhere? Okay, wait. This can't be like this hard. I don't have a right line in here. That's perfect. Okay, let's see. It really took quite a bit to do like 10k passes. Okay, so you can see here like the regular expression version is like 5 times slower in this case, sometimes 10 times. But I also do work there to restore the input, so. But yeah, that shouldn't be the bulk of the operation. So you can see the implementation that I wrote is a lot faster than the regex, but it's more error prone. It has a lot more code to it, so yeah, there's something to be said for both. This looks fairly concise, clean, right? You have your literal mapping, you have a simple regex and a simple loop. So I think a lot of people probably prefer this, and this one is just if you want all the speed. And the annoying part here is that you could probably abstract this away to just have this condition different, because I think that should be the only different here, right? Yeah, only this condition is different between the both. If I just zoom out, I think that's the one. So only this one is different for these two conditions, I think, because this one has to walk in reverse. So I could probably abstract this away to a single code block and make it cleaner. But yeah, as you saw while I was writing and editing, this is a lot more error prone, but it's more efficient code. It's not the cleanest, I have to admit, but yeah, there's something to say for both. But surely this is the clean and less error prone way. So yeah, I like this day one. I don't really, that doesn't really happen a lot. So yeah, I at this point I just want to thank everybody for keeping me a bit of company. It's always nice to have people in chat engaging. If you want to share some of your solutions, feel free to drop it in the chat and I'll take a look at it, and otherwise I'll think I'll end it here and try to see you guys tomorrow. I also think I still have a leaderboard. Do I have a leaderboard? Let's see, a private leaderboard. Boom. Yeah, so there's also a private leaderboard, and you can join using this code if you want. Love the stream, Nick. Okay, thanks. I love having you here. So I haven't done day one, sadly, says Bing Cheng. Okay, well, I would still do it if I was you. It's nice. It's a good training, and if you really want to test yourself, try to do it this way. This makes you reason about it. At least for me, it makes you reason a lot about the way that the parsing works, and it's a useful skill to have. But the regex is just as good. Or maybe even you have another way to go about it that's even a lot cleaner than this. So if you decide to do it and come back tomorrow, yeah, please show it off. So for now, thank you everybody. It's yeah, I'm happy it's Advent of Code time again. As you can see, I still need to do some from last year. Yeah, I don't know when I'll come around to it. I hope to do a lot of them this year though. So for now, thanks everybody. Have a good time and hopefully see you tomorrow. Bye bye.